Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What If, Golden this, Golden that, whatever you want to call me. I'm back, and I'm back with What If Isagi was Noel Noa's son. As always, if you enjoy the video, make sure to show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. Yeah, I've been, like I said before, I've been really enjoying these Blue Lock What Ifs. Haven't really felt the urge to do anything else. If y'all really want something else, then I'll consider it. Just leave it in the comment section below. In terms of some of the people, I have seen some Shield Hero stuff. You probably won't get Shield Hero stuff. I really don't like Season 2, guys. I think Season 2 is real bad for What Ifs. And, if I ever do one, it'll probably just be Season 1. And that's just because that's what I enjoy right now. But, sorry for talking so long about it. This is part 2. So, yeah, let's just get into part 2. Let's get it. The pre-planning and the time for the game against Team Y is about to begin. Yoichi Isagi has everybody well informed and ready for the match. Cause at the end of the day, this match may matchup wise be a little bit easier than the one before, but at the same time, they really don't know for sure if their team is flat out ready for coordination. But luckily, they'll find out right now. The team match between Team Z and Y would then begin. And it's obvious who the issues are off the bat. Okawa and Nico. And they're only an issue because they're well put and well coordinated. And outside of more or less playing keep away, Isagi sees that they have a very basic plan in mind. And their basic plan is to pass the ball around more and more and more. That's until, well, they see an opening. But what happens when that opening never comes? What happens when that chance that they so seek out never arrives? Well, they sit there, stagnant, like nothing in the world is happening. And though they would continue to pass the ball around over and over and over and over again, trying to find that opening. And frankly, that opening just would not exist. That opening would just flat out never come. Isagi would show his prowess in terms of defense, would show how good he is at reacting, reading, and more or less distracting certain oppositions. And frankly, his presence alone, about 5 to maybe 10 minutes into the first half, would honestly and flat out scare people to the point that they would mess up. Now, once they messed up, Isagi would take advantage, stealing the ball away and scoring with such ease. And it was beautiful. And even Ego is currently watching and he's smiling. Now this is something of a miracle. His whole setup with Blue Lock might just be saved. I mean, come on. The fact is, he wasn't sure what would happen to Blue Lock once investors started trying to strip it from the ground up and trying to peel it open so that everybody could watch as entertainment. So once he sees this, once he sees the son of Noel Noa doing things that his father could do, let's just say his confidence would go up drastically, because the U20 team and Japan may currently have one Itoshi Sai, and he is kind of the gateway to Japan's national team, but his temptation to leave quicker than you could possibly imagine is obvious. And the fact is, Isagi might be the reason he stays here. Might be the sole reason, well, Sai Itoshi stays grounded in Japan. Now, that's something for later, the national team, and frankly what could occur in the future. For now, they must all live in the moment. And in this moment, they watch as Isagi Yoichi destroys Team Y. And the destruction of Team Y is all because of a couple things. All because they were so far outclassed, but also the fact is their planning, their game plan, just flat out everything they planned so far is just not good enough. And it's never going to be good enough. And frankly, at the end of the day, Isagi is just so much better at thinking about these elaborate plans and thinking 10 steps ahead than anybody else in front of him. But he would speak to the one by the name of Nico. And he would tell him that he does have a lot of potential in this, but Nico himself would be kind of put back. I mean, it's not like he's that much older, or Isagi's that much older than him. Frankly, they're around the same age. And on top of that, he's so much younger than everyone else, but it's as if he acts so, I don't know, kind of mature in a way, in which it does put off a lot of the people there and a lot of the strikers there, because Isagi does have an ego. Don't get me wrong. He does think he is better than majority, if not everybody there, but he doesn't let his ego kind of cloud his judgment and cloud what he believes everyone and also himself are capable of, which is an extremely good thing and an extremely just flat out amazing thing that Isagi has within himself, especially when more or less he's kind of trying to make everybody on his own team realize what they're all capable of and also what they're capable of as a team. So in terms of exploiting what this team or what Nico's team is capable of, or not capable of, in fact, it's pretty easy. And Isagi would find goals from every single range, and his overwhelming speed and just being as big as he is would easily see fit to that. His goal at the beginning of the game, about 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, would be an apparent thing that would be a common occurrence and would happen over and over and over again. But since they are playing a good bit of keep away, it does make it a little bit harder for Isagi to find his goals. But eventually, he would find every single one of them, and they would win 3-0. And after the game is over, Isagi and his team would celebrate. I mean, a celebration of kind of nothing really. I mean, they would celebrate, but nothing necessarily too surprising would have happened. But this game would definitely be the time that everyone buys in. Every single person there would 100% buy in. Because at the end of the day, if they win this next game, they get through. That they'll get into the next selection, and that's all that really matters to them at this moment. But all of them are feeling a sense of kind of inferiority. But at the same time, this works better for Ego. Ego wants them to feel inferior. He wants them to feel as if they need to catch up to this almost impossible being to catch up to. This is exactly what he wants. And Isagi is making his job that much easier, which is perfect because that's what Ego wants. He wants to create these dynamic and amazing strikers, and this is exactly what's going to happen. The fact is, they all feel inferior. They all feel that they're so much behind. They're so far behind Isagi, but even though this is true, they all work out with him, they all train with him, they all try to get better with him, because at the end of the day, they feel that the only way to get better than Isagi is to learn from him and then evolve past him. So this just inherently makes everybody a good bit better. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't know everybody's skills. Like, he can't teach Bachira how to dribble better, and frankly, he can't really make Raichi an elite defender. He can make them slightly better and better in general, but he's not going to make them so much better to the point where he's just enhancing them to a crazy degree. But don't get me wrong, the more Kunigami-like people are definitely getting leagues better because Isagi is very similar to Kunigami in that regard. In terms of Bachira, he would get a little better because of Isagi and all the work they do together, but more or less Kunigami would be the main person that would get massively amounts better because of Isagi. With that said though, they do make a plan and kind of structure a defense around stopping the next team they have to face, which would be the Wanama twins. The Wanama twins kind of are a bit of an anomaly in a certain way. They're very coordinated, and Isagi hasn't really gone up against people that are that coordinated yet in terms of blue lock. He hasn't gone up against anybody that is as coordinated as the Wanama twins. The Wanama twins run around together like insanely coordinated brothers, and they can basically read each other's minds. But at the same time, Isagi believes that his stature, size, speed, and frankly, his experience will overcome the Wanama twins. So when the game starts, they start with the ball, or Team Z starts with the ball, and Isagi would quickly show that his team has excelled drastically, passing it up to Bachira, as Bachira would dribble through, cutting and nutmegging 3 to 4 people in a row. But it's really because Isagi is giving him all these one-on-ones. They have to pay so much attention to, well, Isagi. If they don't, let's just say everything crumbles. And eventually Bachira would get a pass to Isagi, and everybody would think that this is their chance. They're trying to force a pass to the monster, trying to force a pass to this giant dude, but quickly Isagi would immediately stop the ball, controlling it, and he would hit it with the back of his heel, passing it. He wouldn't even try to score. He would kind of misdirect their attention to a certain side of his body, and then use his insane control over both of his feet to pass the ball to one Kunigami. Kunigami would be wide open as he shoots for a goal, and he shoots this far outside his normal range, and he would score with ease. Isagi would nod his head, and it seems like the practice that Kunigami has been going through has definitely been paying off. He even has a grasp on using his right foot. Yes, he doesn't continue to use only his right foot, but he does have a good grasp on it. It's not perfect, it's nothing insane, but he does have a decent idea of how to use it. Isagi would see that they got that first goal pretty easily, and would think to himself that they can really structure to make sure they get another one. And eventually the Wanama twins would show what they're capable of, sprinting down the field to 2-on-2 immediately with the defenders, and it would be obvious that their coordination is absolutely freakish. Yeah, absolutely freakish. They continue to kind of work the field, but quickly as Isagi begins to wall off one of them, it's obvious that the size of Isagi and the kind of speed, reflexes, and all of it, and his complete understanding of the field kind of destroys the Wanama twins' plans. Yes, see, they made everyone else look kind of silly, but they didn't make Isagi look no silly. He's completely fine. Isagi locks down one of them, forcing the other one to play solo, and once that happens, immediately a flash of red would come screaming across the field. Someone that Isagi hasn't really spoken to very much, but someone that has felt inspired by the coordination and just the want to get better, and frankly, it's all because of Isagi. Isagi has shown them a new pathway to becoming a striker, and something within Chiguri would come out, and that is his speed. Him being scared of hurting his knee now disappearing from his mind, and his shackles would break free. He would steal the ball and be gone. He would be bolting off, passing one of the Wanama twins, passing one of the other players, and Isagi would race down the field to try and catch him. He's never seen someone with such speed. There's so many different things opening up to his eyes now, so many different ideas. He's never seen someone with this type of speed. Chiguri would score, making the game 2-0, and Isagi would smile, and Chiguri would run over and tell him that it seems like he's slow, kind of labored compared to him. I guess he does have something on the great Isagi, in which Isagi would smirk and say that if Chiguri wants some goals, that's exactly what he's going to get. He didn't know someone could be as fast as him, and now he's excited. Chiguri smirks as well and gets ready for the goals that would ensue, And let's just say Isagi would set him up for goal after goal, and it would feel as if there is no stopping the tandem at the moment. His power and his ability to pass more or less from any angle, because his usage of both of his feet, make him a lethal combo with Chigiri and his speed. And if it's not Chigiri, it's a wide open Kunigami easily scoring. And eventually they would absolutely obliterate the Wanama twins, putting them up 8-0 by the end of the game. And there's just no way, no chance that this team could even touch Team Z. And the game would then end, and the Wanama twins coordination would just fall short of what it should have been and what it could have been. But with that said, Isagi would be looking toward the future, because with the idea that they already know what's to come, and they already know that this next match is just flat out formality, he begins to just train, and everybody around him trains with him. They want to get better. They all work hard, and Isagi kind of talks about everything that he can do and what everything he's worked on throughout his entire life, and that he's been just kind of working at it forever. And they would bring up again the fact that he can use both feet, and that his playstyle is eerily similar to the one of Noel Noa. And he would kind of awkwardly laugh about this, and he says that he's just been a big fan for a long time. They would all kind of look at him and then kind of squint, and they would ask him once again, why exactly does he play like Noel Noa so much? Is he really just a fan? In which Isagi would kind of reply, saying that he is just a fan. He really is. But a couple of them would catch on, thinking that he is lying, but then Bachira would jump in and kind of make like a joke / kind of a distraction, and Isagi would be left off scotch-free. He doesn't want everyone knowing that he's the son of Noel Noa, because at the end of the day, that might put either a bigger target on his back or just unwanted attention that he doesn't really want right now, in which Bachira does kind of save him. And it's pretty obvious that Bachira knows for a fact, because once they all leave and head toward the cafeteria, he kind of gives Isagi a whole, oh, like, you're welcome nudge, in which they head into the cafeteria and they would see actually the stars of Team V. Yeah, the people they're going to be taking on very soon. They actually speak for a little bit, Isagi learning of Nagi and kind of why he doesn't really enjoy football, or at least he says he thinks it's boring and so on. And this kind of annoys him. I mean, seriously, why are you even here then? You're kind of wasting a spot. But of course, Nagi and Ryo would kind of just back each other up in a way, or more Ryo would back up Nagi. And Isagi would kind of just be annoyed by this and kind of just walk away, saying that it's ridiculous to see someone like him, someone that's supposedly so talented, just say all of these things about football, saying that it's boring, that it's a drag, and that he doesn't want to do this and do that. It's kind of just stupid in his opinion, that he has to find his love for football, or there's really no point of even playing it in the first place. But he'll see him on the field. They'll settle it over there, and Isagi would walk out. And Ryo would kind of wonder why he's so serious. Like, why is that guy so damn serious? And why does it even matter to him? It's not like it's affecting him at all. And Isagi would eventually begin his planning for Team V. That planning would kind of ensue with dealing with Nagi. And Isagi would tell them that they don't need to worry about him, that he'll handle Nagi, and that he's seen players like him. He's seen prodigies in training camps. He's seen one-of-a-kind talents. He's seen it all. So he doesn't have to worry. They don't have to worry about Nagi. Chigiri would laugh, and he would say that he hasn't seen it all, because he never saw the speed of Chigiri before. In which he says that he's seen it now, so he has seen it all. He would laugh at this and say that he's beaten prodigies like Nagi, taken on people just like him. He doesn't know what he's really capable of, and based on the film, it probably doesn't tell half of it. But let's just say, I'm pretty good at adjusting. Isagi would leave the room to get ready for bed, because the next day they'll be taking on Team V in a match that means literally nothing, but to Isagi, it means everything. Because he wants to make sure that he wants to make sure that every single period is dotted, and every single I has a dot as well. And single thing he has, it has a stamp on it. A stamp of his own approval. And the match with Team V and the domination of Team V would be something that he wants to see now. In which him matching up and marking Nagi was the best choice he could have made. The one-on-one with him and Nagi was a spectacle. And in the beginning, well, Nagi would get kind of the best of him. His ball control would be so insane that it seems as if it's almost impossible to kind of intercept the ball without fouling the guy. But Nagi himself isn't as strong as Isagi, and once Isagi gets kind of the pressure on Nagi, even though he can kind of trap the ball, he can't really do anything with it. Yeah, he can't really do much with it overall. He kind of struggles to look for a shot, and even throughout the time of him evolving and doing these insane trap fakes, Isagi, he doesn't fall for them. He doesn't fall for any of them. And it's not because they're not impressive. It's not because they're not skillful. It's just because Isagi is built to guard someone like Nagi. The pressure he puts on him, the ideas that flow through his head, the knowledge he has for the game, and frankly everything that is unfolding in front of him, he's ready. And he understands that. He understands everything that's happening. And he has a goal greater than every single person here. He wants to meet on the field with his father. It doesn't have to be with him. It could be against him. And ideally, that's what he would rather it be. Against him. He would love the fact that he could step on the field with his own father, take him on one-on-one, and it would be father versus son, the next generation of striker right in front of the current generation's, well, greatest striker. Isagi, at the end of the day, may be surprised by some moves that Nagi unfolds, and might be surprised by certain things that are seen or done by Nagi, but at the end of the day, his goals and his ideals trump everything, so much so that everything seems so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Every single thing seems so small, as if nothing matters but the end goal of playing against his father, Noel Noa. So, stopping Nagi, exposing Ryo, and Zentetsu being kind of the only issue is an easy way to beat Team V. Nagi may get a goal, maybe even two, but after the game goes longer and longer, the son of Noel Noa will find his own goals. Goal after goal after goal. There is no stopping him. Because Isagi might develop a way to stop Nagi, but Nagi will never develop a way to stop Isagi. He's too weak, he's too frail, and he's just not big enough. Not even close. Isagi would find his way to the goal multiple times, and so would Kunigami, Chiguri, and Bachira, and maybe even one for Kagamaru. The game would be over, and it would end in about a 6-2 game, and frankly, Nagi has evolved so much from just going head-to-head clashing with the Titan of Isagi, Yoichi, and it's impressive how good he kind of did. Yes, he didn't win the game, and they were kind of far off of it, but it's still impressive what he was capable of. Very impressive. Isagi would celebrate with his team and their final win, and he would speak with Nagi. And Nagi would talk about how he's never felt so excited in his life, that he's never felt this adrenaline of playing like he's played here. And he hopes to see Isagi once again, and he hopes to play either with him or against him once again, because that's what he wants. Isagi would be happy to hear this, telling Nagi that they will definitely play once again. There is no doubt about it in his mind. There is no world that they don't play. So he doesn't have to worry about if it happens. It's truly about when it happens. He would smile and he would say that he'll be seeing him soon, and he can't wait to see him because he's talented. He did tell his team that he's seen so many versions of Nagi, of this person, but he was wrong. Nagi's a different type of person, a different sort of prodigy. And honestly, that's on him for assuming that Nagi would have been the same as all of them. Because maybe that was his arrogance, maybe that was his ego talking. Nagi was probably the best of them all, if not the best of them all. With that said though, his team would celebrate with having some fire food from just kind of like a banquet. And frankly, Isagi has a ton of points, so he can kind of get them more food or get them stuff. So it's not that big of a deal. With the first selection, coming to an end and it finally being over, his team being in the scorecards in the rankings of 4-0, being the number one team, it's kind of a celebration leading up until the next time they face off. The next time they face off, though, would be in the second selection, and Isagi would be ecstatic and excited for that next selection. But the next selection would start after a ton of training. This training would be easy for Isagi. This wouldn't even be close. He could work out and do all the stuff he normally does, and his team actually has an edge in terms of this workout regimen because of how hard they've been working out this entire time. So they're all a good bit better in terms of physicality and all a good bit better overall, which is a great thing for Isagi to see and a great thing for all of them to see entirely. Isagi would finally see the second selection begin by Jinpachi Ego explaining exactly what's going to occur. He explains exactly what the first selection was about what they were basically capable of and what they were going to be doing, and now the second selection will be about individuality, but at the same time, it will be about what they're capable of on their own, and then they will then team up in small teams to see how they work with other people. And yeah, they could team up with their own teammates, but maybe they'll find people even better. Maybe they'll find people so much greater to the point that it's truly inconceivable to go with the original people they're comfortable with. The point of this is to get uncomfortable. Be happy in the uncomfortable states that they're going to be in and be happy with what's to come. Now, with that said, their first challenge is up and they need to walk through those doors and see what it is. Isagi walks through and he sees a holographic Blue Lock Man. Holographic Blue Lock Man seems to be more or less there to train him and get his capabilities up. But let's just say Blue Lock Man is no challenge for Isagi. He obliterates this thing, absolutely takes Blue Lock Man to the grave. And it's really just because of the fact that Isagi's striking ability, just kicking the ball with both of his feet and kind of his ability to more or less shoot from really any angle and any kind of weird slanted position, is very easy for Isagi. And it doesn't matter how good the hologram was, it was going to get destroyed really fast, and Isagi did it in record time, super quick, in a matter of just, we're talking maybe 10 minutes, 15. Nah, but Isagi just does it extremely quick, finishing it in an easily record time, walking out of those doors, and he would see nobody. Nobody would be there. Isagi would look around, but literally no one's there. He would kind of be curious, because at the end of the day, he doesn't have a 1 on his shirt. He actually didn't get enough goals to have a 1 on his shirt. But in all fairness, I mean, that kind of trumps the kind of ratios in a weird way, because yes, he didn't have a ton of goals, but he did have a good amount, but he didn't have as much as he could have. He could have straight up had almost every single goal if he really wanted to, but he's curious to see who got all those goals, who's the next person to walk out. And he might have a 2 on his shoulder, but the person with number 1 on his would walk out next. He would be kind of annoyed at the fact that someone beat him to this, but he would walk over and he would tell him that they're teaming up and whoever's coming out next will team up with them. And Isagi asks why he should team up with him, and of course Rin would give some weird snotty kind of response, and Isagi says that he doesn't really like the way he acts. And by the way, he looks real familiar. Isagi would tilt his head. Are you Sai Toshi's little brother? In which Rin would be pissed about, telling him to shut up and that has nothing to do with anything and that it doesn't matter who his brother is. Isagi says that he didn't mean to offend him. He really didn't. But he likes the idea that he must be here to take down his brother, right? I mean, his brother isn't here. I mean, his brother's what, a midfielder now? Kind of lame in his opinion. Rin would smirk slightly but kind of hide it, thinking that he kind of likes Isagi. He's kind of funny and seems like a good person and a dude that might be able to help him get his goals in proper alignment. So he kind of deals with Isagi and kind of tries not to get annoyed by certain remarks he says. But eventually the next person would come out, and it wouldn't be who exactly you would believe to come out next. It's actually Nagi. Yeah, Nagi. Someone that has mainly ball control would come out next, beating other people to the punch. And Nagi would come out and immediately go to Isagi, saying he wants to join his team right now. Like right now. And Rin would look at his shoulder and see that his number's actually not that good compared to theirs, and he's curious at how he got through so quick. And Isagi says that Nagi's a good pickup. He's a really good pickup, and that if he wants to go in right now, that Nagi would be a good guy to kind of go up with. In which Rin says that it doesn't even matter because they're going to win anyways, so let's just go on through. Rin would walk through with himself, Isagi, and Nagi, and they would get ready for whoever is to come next. Who is their next challenge, and who will take them on first in this 3 versus 3 match? Well, you're gonna have to find out in the next and final part of What If Isagi Was Noel Noa's Son. And if you enjoyed, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And I hope all of y'all have an amazing day. Later.